Official. And as usual, if somebody could remind me where we were at the last time. You can scroll there. I
forgot to mark it like 4.5 or something like that.
Yeah, like middle of the line, the bark of eternity, the bark of
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're talking so much about little dogs just now on Discord that when you said the bark of eternity, I was thinking with
The Wea of eternity. Wea.
what does the fox say? I mean, now we know what eternity is. The dogs.
God.
Do I have it? Where's our bark of eternity?
I don't remember if we did the hieratic from the previous line though. Did we?
Oh. Sorry, 4.5, right?
Yeah.
Right, there is no bark. There is a bark there. Yeah, there's
Yeah, with the bark, yeah.
Okay, I don't recall if we did, honestly. I don't remember us going through this.
Let's do it. I think we got a couple letters in. Wait, there's one letter that one character that we were thinking of, and we're maybe going to look it up. Was it the, we looked at the cow. We looked at the inside, headless cow skin.
We looked at the maw because it's that really big, goes way under.
Yep,
Yeah.
we looked at that.
We looked
So
at
maybe
right? The hen.
We looked at the death stick because we talked about that.
Yeah, that was cool.
We looked at the what?
The death stick,
The death stick?
the stick
Oh,
that
that's it. Yeah, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I always imagine that's a stick to
stick.
push away floating dead bodies in the river.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeesh.
That's a lot
That is
about.
awesome.
Oh. My God. Okay.
Well, maybe we did do this whole line then.
I think we had a question about the knife.
Yeah, we did.
Lemma?
Let's look it up. Tsukuba University, where are you? There they are. But we need a glyph number.
Oh, it would be T. So it's T30 or T31.
Okay. Sounds like a Terminator model. There it is.
Yes, yes.
So now how do you make that? I would claim, yeah, like down, 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 something like this. Where's our annotation tool? Draw, draw. I don't know what you guys think. Something like this. Oh, somebody was just writing. Hi. So I store focus. Something like that.
Huh.
I mean, I would claim this comes first. And then the rest. Like this.
Mhm.
What I'm basing that on is that like left falling always go from, those are the exception that go from like right to left. Like for example, the viper goes like this.
Mhm.
The cobra goes like that, which makes me think whenever they did something like this, they would probably start here. And since you can't really go upstream very well with a read, I would think that would probably be something like that.
Mhm.
Or if you feel so inclined, make it a third stroke. Sorry. Ergonomic. Okie doke. So that actually seems to be fairly standard. Let's see what he did again. X out. Yeah, sort of, huh? If you ignore the smudges.
To me, it looks more like the second column example, but there's an extra hook at the top.
Maybe. It would be fitting because the second column would be later, right? So it does evolve, you're right. It does evolve. There's like a little thingy on top. Which now makes me think, dang, did you have to bring that up? Because that could also mean something like this. If I look at this stuff.
Hmm.
It could be. We'd really have to look at some manuscripts in detail, some that are cleaner than ours. I mean, the old ones, I have no doubt. These here, I'm not sure, because you're right. If there's like a little hooky, you would think that would come first. Remains interesting. And then you can see that's interesting, like in the later dynasties, 25 and so on, they often go back to more classical models intentionally. It's like restoring the glory of old or something, and you see a lot of spellings that suddenly look very much like the old ones again. So that was an interesting little fact.
Gothic revival's been going on for a long time.
Indeed. Okay, what others do we have? So we talked about this, we talked about that, we talked about the long ma.
Yeah, why is the pa repeated twice from line to line?
Great question.
We just,
It's definitely there. I mean, you can see it plain as day in both lines.
yeah.
I mean, there was something interesting. I try to remember, was it Peter, did you bring this up on Discord? We had like one or two places in this text where it really looks like it was copying from a place, and may have just miswritten something. I try to remember what it was. I could have sworn that was from our Discord discussion of Junge, maybe? Was that in here? Let me show you that, guys, because that was kind of interesting. Can't remember. Maybe we put it under Lady Egyptian.
Could have been.
Ah, there we go. Yep, that's it. This was it. That's also from our text, just a few more pages down, page 8.
Yeah.
And the mystery is why this word is spelled the way it is. It should
Right.
be.
Yeah.
I mean, properly, normally, it should be DHN. I think. Yeah, DHN. Or maybe THN. If they fall together anyways, that could happen. I see that. But in this particular place, the N comes before the H, which is kind of weird. And you could say, well, that's orthographic because it fits very nicely. But then the other thing that we notice is it comes right after a 10 in the text, which makes you wonder if you're copying, like you have text A on the left, your text on the right, and you're looking at one and you're copying and you start the next T, you slide into the N from the previous word and you know what, let's not correct it. Let's just continue. That's my hypothesis, because it really only happens in this text. So, and N and H changing position, doesn't make a lot of sense. It could happen. So I'm wondering, basically, is there an indication that sometimes we have copying errors? And that could be the case here. You have pa, and then he writes pa again.
I think it's just a mistake, and also like right somewhere on these lines, he or she leaves out a the after the inside. I am inside the enyin. There's no the there.
True.
The end of, yeah.
You would expect a little ta here. Yeah, you're right. And there isn't. Right. So yeah, I think there's some form or other of scribal error.
Thank you.
And then Ralph, I think, pointed out that that it's Reft, but it's spelled Retef. That could just be to make it look more nicely and symmetric.
Yeah, to leave room for the tail on the snake.
Mhm.
Because like Hefet is often transposed the other way in hieroglyphs to
Right.
make it like a nice graphic stack, like put the T over the F.
Right.
But doing it this way, like it seems like it's only kind of in hieratic that makes any sense at all. But I don't know. It's kind of a weak argument too. But he
Yeah.
does like to bring the tail of the snake underneath the next sign, and you can't really do that if you put the F before the T.
Right. I mean, in a way, he's still following the hieroglyphic reading order, right? Because normally you would write R, T, F, even though it should be R, F, T. And he's sort of doing that here.
Right.
R, T, F, and then the determinative. What did we call it? The stick of death?
Death stick.
Yeah, the death stick.
And what is the death stick? Is it like a cane? Is it like a crutch?
I always thought it was like when you see captives tied up in like pharaonic murals, there's a
Yeah,
stick where they like tie their legs to the long piece and they tie their hands to the fork.
Oh,
So they're sort of trussed up like a pig and can be dragged around. And
nice. Okay.
so I always assumed it was one of those, but
That's sometimes how it's depicted. It looks like you see the figure though, the person who
yeah,
actually
you can actually see a figure tied to it. Yeah.
that same line.
Okay.
So
Okay. Got an image of that?
It might just be an abbreviation for that. You know, the guy stabbing his head. Too. But I have always thought of it as like a kind of oar where you push a boat away from the shore or a dock, or you push something away from the dock, from the shore or the dock.
Maybe it's a crutch like old maimed people use. They're
Do you
about
mean
to
when
die.
when it's just lying around, you mean somebody took the bucket? Oh my God.
Discarded
So-
crutch.
I think in older descriptions, like think 1800s, it's called a toppled pillar or something of that nature, which I've never found very convincing. It doesn't really look like that, but
what other words does it appear in?
death most of all. Mut.
But
Let's look it up.
nothing else?
What's the number for it?
Scripts were completed in the 1970s and have
Whoops.
since been crucial toward the critical re-envision.
That was an authoritative voice.
Huh.
That's cool.
Sorry, were you guys hearing that?
Uh-huh.
Yep, sorry about that. Do we know the number for it?
Not yet. I'm looking.
Looking.
Ralph is going to be faster than me.
Oh, I got it.
Ah, see, you guys are fast.
Sims is faster than all of us.
Z6.
Z6.
So it's an opponent or foe, which is the case here for enemy.
Alan says derived from hieratic.
So so it might be a
Or it might actually be a sketch of somebody lying on their side or something.
yeah.
Like a really basic stick figure.
Oh, it's in
Yeah.
foreigners, which is the same as foe. It's in disorders, a medical thing. It's in female robber, which is enemy. The despondent, which that might be a euphemism for dead person.
Mm.
Rebellious, which is enemy. Incurable disease.
Oh, interesting. Which is
Yeah.
also sort of an enemy in a way, if you want to get
Right.
philosophical.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Constellation of the Great Bear. Foreleg of Seth.
Wow.
Companions of Seth. Companions. So now it's the opposite. It's a determinative for friends instead of enemies. Death and evil, dead lost.
Dictionary, Aurelio, that you're looking at. I've never seen this before. This is really cool.
Dixon has the advantage that you can search by glyphs. So if you want to answer the question like what is it in? I think you're probably using the same right now, right, Kevin?
I'm using no, I'm using Vigus.
Oh,
Is that how you pronounce it?
right, I see. So then you have two where you can do that. Unfortunately, that what's it called again? The Faulkner with the electronic version of Faulkner doesn't have it, but the other two have it. Dixon and Vigus, and both are available for free online.
Boy, the amount of time these awesome people have put in and freely available is just awesome.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Did you see on Glyph Study? Someone was talking about the Vigus dictionary, and then the guy who did it, Mr. Vigus, whatever, got on and said, "Oh, thank you," or something.
Yeah.
Was that recently?
Yeah, that was really neat.
Yeah,
That's crazy because for some reason I always assume all of these guys have been dead for at least 100 years. Like, oh, you're a modern person. Oh,
That is awesome.
Do
And did
do
you
you
guys
wanna-
see about Emilio's next upcoming hieratic session?
mm.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's on a Sunday this time. So, it's part of the word fear. The goose with a broken neck and that stick means fear.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, we can go back.
Okay, what else? Oh yeah, then we had Mun. And I remember.
Right.
That's where we left off. That's where we left off, right at men, because and then Ralph, was it you that posted that?
Oh
thing
yeah,
that- and
that's right.
And there we go. So in the Middle Kingdom, it always looks like this. Like these guys here get reduced to a stroke, and it comes back. It's more like a return. Then there's the rest of the box. So that's easy to understand. But let's see what happens in the New Kingdom with this. So that boxy thing is still there. I mean, the top line is still there, but somehow it acquires another stroke in the middle, which, well, sometimes was there before, actually. Interesting.
Yeah, I was wondering if that middle stroke was just a vestige of like it's supposed to have a bunch of pegs on top, and so we have to show some more vertical in there.
Could be, but I thought those were already summarized in the.
But that extra line,
Mhm.
yeah.
Was the box sometimes filled? Is that what it is?
Read Matt, right? Or something like that.
I mean, you do have that for the sh sign, or we have two versions. We have this and we have this. Does that happen with the mun as well? That could be essentially tick, 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 and then something filled in the middle?
A couple of them do seem to have that, actually, a little stroke in the center,
Mhm.
like Shun.
Hmm.
Not many.
In any case, I think so too. In any case, how you write it then becomes fairly clear, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. I think that's.
Yeah,
Or is
it
it-
looks,
Or is it?
I mean, ours is a bit different from that, but I think that's what Murder is showing. So this is supposed to be a min board, right? Do you go in a circle in min? Like maybe it's showing a little bit of the top of the board?
Right, is it Senate? Is it a Senate board or what is the min glyph?
I thought it was a Senate board.
That was the Senate board.
Yeah, it's a Senate board.
Yeah.
At least that's what Alan says.
Okay.
Hmm. When you
So
say
really like-
circle, you mean this thing?
No, I mean like the curve at the top, like
Want to take
just in the
over?
Middle Kingdom example, just like this bit. Oh, I've lost my annotation.
You mean like as a bird's eye view, looking down at the board?
Yeah, like there's some iconography like that. Like they always show everything in profile, but sometimes Like the thing that's inside will be on top, floating on top, so you can see
Oh,
Yeah.
Mhm.
as if it's.
what's that colorful hieroglyph thing again?
Oh,
P-
oh,
P-
God.
Oh,
Polychrome, the polychrome.
polychrome hieroglyph something.
Depending on what combination I'm going to type in, I'm going to end up on all sorts of drug sites, I guess. Let's be careful here, especially while on camera. There we go. Polychrome.
Yeah, it's phrp.de.
PHRP. Okay. Huh. Okay.
It was the second leak before on the previous page.
Yeah, go back.
Yeah, now we're getting into
Oh,
like.
is that it? Oh, it is a Bloxford research.
Yeah.
Or is it the Belgium one?
It's the Belgian one, but that one links to the Belgian one.
There you go. And we want a Senate board,
Mhm.
which is, oh, that's convenient.
Man,
Wi-Fi or something.
It's just so amazing that we have all this stuff.
There it is.
There you go. So let's look at some of these guys. This is very detailed.
That second one really looks like the ones in museums.
yes.
This one here too.
Look at that.
I mean, sometimes they repeat the square pattern from the top on the sides, like in the physical examples we have.
Well, what
So
does
it's not necessarily a top-down view, but some of them you can really see the pieces.
Okay, these are all modern recreations. Recreation. Really, guys? Everybody wants to sell me something. There you go.
That's a cool one.
Very nice. So those boards, I mean, those fields are definitely on top then, judging from that. When you,
Yeah,
this is the fields on top. So yeah, that is indeed like a combo view again. You look at the top, but then the pieces are showing in profile from the side.
Mhm.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Buy that.
Doesn't look like I mean, at least these examples are not decorated on the side with fields with, that is very interesting. Oh, here. You can also see, oh, wait, but here. Oh, so that's actually the, I never, I thought they just had fancy squares on this, but now that you say it, I realized that. So this is really looking top down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's pretty
Absolutely.
fascinating, huh?
If
Very-
we want to play Senate, boy.
Somebody on Glyphstudy said the royal game of Ur was found in Tutankhamun's tomb, and I think like, really?
Interesting.
well,
Somebody said,
I'm not sure we found any instructions for Senate,
Right. Right.
neither.
but there's a very similar there's an Assyrian game that has a very similar board layout.
Game of 20 or something, right? Isn't it? Or
Yeah. And isn't there like one of the Lamia or whatever, the bull-headed fake gods that guard the gates? In the British Museum, one of them has a board carved into the base.
wow.
But people only noticed a few years ago.
Oh, really?
But presumably the guards were bored one day, so they started they needed a game board.
That's awesome.
So,
What's that god called?
I can't remember what they're called. It's the lamb something or other.
Lamassu or
Lamassu? Yeah, Lamassu, that's it.
I think the Oriental Institute maybe has one of those too. It's like a big bowl type thing, or
Yeah, those are the ones.
That
It was
is-
one in the British Museum, one in the Louvre, one in the Metropolitan Museum. There might be one in Chicago too.
yeah.
Is that it?
Yep, that's it.
That's cool.
Oh my God, look at that.
That is awesome. So, but that's basically somebody just making one up on the fly, huh? Yeah. So wait. Oh, that's
Is it an ancient writing or is it modern?
The story I heard is that somebody noticed it after it was in a Western museum. So
yeah.
it could be modern, but it could also be ancient. And the thing was buried for 2,000 years, so it's probably nothing in between. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
But it's odd that a modern person would carve that particular board because, like, we don't even know how to play the game.
Right, right.
Let's see, is that somewhere in the description?
It's hard to imagine they wouldn't have noticed that before. It looks pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Unless this has been traced over for the picture. So that
Yeah, they
it's-
might have cleaned it once somebody noticed
Yeah.
it, so you could see it. Because
Okay.
one of the pictures had a glass window over it.
Have you guys seen? I'm going completely off the the text here, but have you seen that one temple in Cairo that was recently cleaned up, or that's in the process of being cleaned up, but the original colors are coming out under this?
Oh, incredible. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So I could imagine something similar here. If that was just thinly traced and nobody watched it for a long time, maybe you wouldn't see it because yeah, this looks really like it's made yesterday.
Yeah.
Right,
It's
right.
been made yesterday. Huh.
Or maybe everybody knew about it in the 19th century and then we forgot because it wasn't interesting enough to publish.
True, true.
Person for scale.
Fascinating. Cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I love it.
So you can really imagine that, right? Like people sitting down in the temple somewhere and just passing their time playing the game. Why wouldn't you? Huh. Awesome.
So is that Sumerian or is that
That's Akkadian.
Akkadian? Okay.
Beautiful Neo-Assyrian hand. Well, so I guess it's Assyrian technically, but
It's really pretty.
It is pretty, isn't
yeah, they had a beautiful spelling reform.
it? I see we have some Neo-Assyrian fans in the house.
Well, you know, what I find hard about cuneiform is like it's 3,000 years of handwriting, just like hieratic. It's really hard to recognize the signs and all their different shapes and whatever. And the Neo-Assyrian Empire did a spelling reform where they're like, we're going to make this look pretty and easy to read. And it's the closest thing cuneiform I think ever came to our modern sensibility of what standard printing should look like.
True. I mean, this looks awfully clean and easy to read.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of like
So some-
simplified Chinese. Is that in terms of like the principle?
It's a bit like simplified Chinese. Yeah, like they took out a lot of strokes
Okay.
to make everything regular and not too complicated, and easier to remember.
Hmm.
And so there's one pedagogical school that says we should translate everything into this because it's the closest thing we have to printed hieroglyphs, and students can learn to read it much more easily. But then you look at some tablet and you're lost.
Right, right.
So a lot of other people are just like, well, you just deal with the complexity. And anyway, enough of it aside.
Which, by the way, is exactly what we get with hieratic. I think I've heard that more than once where people say, unfortunately, I can't read hieratic. And I'm thinking like, after you spend, say, half a year on it, it becomes pretty straightforward. I mean, sight reading, speed reading is a different story, but it's not as alien as it looks at first. So I'm wondering whether, I don't know.
I think people get the hang of it. Like I was talking to somebody who said that she looks for the E glyph, like the like an E and a gal, like the in King, in any new tablet. And once she sees that, she's like, oh, they're writing like this, and then she can figure out most of the other glyphs.
Mhm.
So I think you get used to the different patterns and the different, and when you're within one corpus, like in one city in one time period, everybody wrote the same. So once you figure out how they spelled things, it's fine. But just like Egyptian.
Just like modern handwriting too.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we've solved our Mun issue more or less. So this is intentional then. So you really come down here, you do this, and maybe this last. I'm still a little bit on the edge, on the fence there, whether this first and that next. Sort of, I'm thinking, ta-da, 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 ta-da. But the last two here, it could be the other way around. It's really hard to say.
To me, it looks like the diagonal goes on top of the vertical.
Hang on, you mean this one?
So like,
Yeah, that diagonal looks like it's on top to me, but
Well, let's have a look.
let's look.
I mean, those are clearly connected in my mind. So you're saying, do you start here and then do this?
Yeah, I think it's like down and then the tick. So
okay, so you would start with what looks like I don't know, I keep seeing a P in my mind or a row or something like that, but the downward on the men first, and then the line up top, and then maybe the slashy thing diagonal after that. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
So you're saying like this, and then this? Oh, great, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's possible. I mean, the main thing that stands against it for me in my mind is that in older days, it's always clearly this. Like for like hundreds of years, they do that. And now suddenly they would have to switch. But you're right, based on the shape alone, I can't determine that.
Yeah, it's really interesting how that this part right here, and that's probably just a flake piece that comes off, right? But the top of the bar seems to have a divot in it, and then this little descender right here is really minuscule.
Yeah, I hear you. Although I think that's really just something that flaked off.
Yeah, agree.
I would claim those two are
Looks
connected.
like, mhm,
Just, do they come before the vertical or after? Based
yeah.
on this sign, I'd be agnostic. Based on what they've done before, I would say the horizontal comes first. Also because they always go like top to bottom, like G, for example, would go like this.
Right.
So, I'll leave it open, honestly. I think both will probably achieve the desired result.
yeah,
Well,
this isn't on display anywhere, is it?
It's what I'm
Like,
sorry.
can you go to a museum and see it? Is
No,
this
it's on the British Museum website.
right?
No, sorry.
Or-
I was thinking of Doomed Prince. Sorry, I don't know where this is.
No. Chester Beatty's in the Chester Beatty Museum. Can't remember either, but I was just wondering if you could actually go see it, or if it's in. If you need scholarly things.
There's a men on line 1 or page 1, line 8. If you want to look at it.
Oh, but that's not page 1. You said British Museum, right? British Museum?
No, you were right. Chester Beatty, you had right there.
But that's not 1. 1 is the very fragmentary one.
Yep.
This is like page 2. Well, we can look at the one we just looked at. That should be.
Well, you're on papyrus. You're on the second cut of it there. You need papyrus 1_1 at the top.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oops, you're right.
It's like page 8 or something.
Ah, that explains it.
Yeah.
Page Horus, and that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, the one on page 4 is only the second one in the thing. And then the next one is on page 5, line 2.
Okay, you said line 8 on the first?
Line 8 on the first page. Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, that one looks a lot more like the Miller examples.
Wait, you found it?
I'm still not seeing it.
Yeah, it's right before the cartouche. It's right here.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Oh, gosh, that's really different.
I'm sorry for moving, but
Yep.
that's really different. You're right.
Look at that.
I mean,
Oh,
that's
that's much clearer, though, the order.
really this.
Yep,
Maybe really that,
yep.
which would be super ergonomic, right? That makes some sense.
I would say the outer line first. So I would say it top, just as you have it, but the middle line is the last line, I think. Looking at this, that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep, that would make some sense.
I feel bad for anybody trying to come and look at my handwriting.
That's right.
No.
In 3,000 years, somebody's going to be looking at your handwriting going, what was he doing?
What did
I
he
don't
do?
understand.
No.
Gotta be
I
scribal
was just-
error.
I was just lazy. That's all that it was. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's going to be something else. Especially you're going to see. So hieratic was still sporadically written in the 3rd millennium AD.
The ancients were at the height of their power. This is how they conceived.
Exactly.
Socialist. All right.
Very cool.
So yeah, this one's weird. Definitely different.
Yep.
Nah, come on. Are we going to get one sentence in today? A new one, I mean. 50 more minutes. Let's see. Ah.
Do we want to look at another M
Oh, you
or
have
another N?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
one on page 5,
page 5.
line 2.
Okay. There it is.
Oh. Wow, golly.
Yeah. Wow.
You're gonna make liars out of all of us, but that actually speaks for Aaron, for your theory that, I mean, this part is clear, this next, and then this comes last.
Mhm.
You're right. The more of these you look at, the clearer it becomes what's going on.
And do we have a page 8? The next one is page 8.
I don't think we have that yet.
We haven't done page, no, we haven't done page 8 yet. No, wait, yes, we have. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
You did page 8 hieratic, but no one's transcribed. Well, but nobody's entered a transcription on GitHub, so it doesn't show up on the document.
gotcha.
Well, what we could do, of course, is we could take a look at, we obviously Gardner aside because we like to be DIY, but DIY, yeah.
It's page 8, line 6, if you want to find it.
Page which?
Page 8, line 6.
Okay, on our way. Page 10. Page 9. Page
Yep.
6. One, two, look at that glyph. Wow.
Wow.
1, 2,
Awesome.
3, 4, 5, 6.
It's
Sorry, I lost it.
it's right next to the red.
Oh, here. There you
Yep.
go.
Yep, that's it.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
That's the
Yeah,
cleanest.
that's the
one.
clean. Yeah, nice. That's very nice.
Yeah.
The cleanest yet, isn't it? Ta-da.
A big line over it.
Yeah. Look at that. What's that all about?
Oh, that's a crazy not a T, but Yeah, that's a T, like a TI with a little, that looks like a little, it's pointy and then has a ball at the end.
Right, the little lip at the top is just one
Yeah,
off to the side.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Wait, let's take a look at it. Where did it go? Oh, wait, I'm on the next. That explains it.
there it is. Oh, it's not a T, but like kind of a jed or a ja.
Yeah, that one's always in there as a determinative. But wow, that looks, it's not that common a sign. I hadn't seen it before. I mean, okay, yeah, I see the little T, but it has that really long stroke in front of it.
Right.
Huh. Well, more fun stuff in the future. I'm completely lost. I don't remember anymore. Yeah. Okay. So we have the mun, I think. We have the mun done for every day. We do have the head, a little lion there. We do have a bird on the stick with an N. What else? Where's the barge?
It must be, I'm pointing to it, but can't see.
No, I can't.
It must be like, I mean, you can see it's right above the N and right next to the guy. So it must just be, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's actually true. That's what it normally looks like. They really.
Really? It normally looks like that.
Very vertical.
You're right. It's just like I mean, you have the barge itself, which would be something like this on top, and then the two pieces underneath. And what they do is they just go like top, top. That's actually, just here they make the stroke really long, which I think is a New Kingdom thing. It's just like the Q, for example.
Or the bad bird.
Or the bad bird. Yeah, that's another good example, the bad bird. Huh. Okay.
Wow. Well, I wouldn't have gotten that in a million years.
Yeah.
This one you just have to know. I mean, that's one of those that's highly simplified. What else? Our cute little guy there with the arms raised. Vertical plural stroke. 1, 2, 3. The N, which used to be something like this, and now is just tuck, tuck. Our little.
The rack is really interesting. Like the R is so narrow.
I don't think we translated this part. I don't think we got past
Nope.
the.
No, we haven't done this phrase yet.
Well, and let's
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
They didn't know what to do. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I'm confused about the grammar on this line.
While not, they didn't know of all the, well, I think what it's trying to say is while none of, so all the gods could do it. So none known of all the gods could do it.
That's it. You got it. That's right.
Nailed it. Wow.
You're right.
So, so he's saying, I kill the enemies of prey daily in the front of the barge of blah, 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 while no known of all the other gods could do it. Right? Kind of?
I think that's exactly it.
Feels weird
Yeah.
though.
Can't
Why-
lack also,
no,
also
why
mean ability or something like that?
Right.
Like it doesn't have to be
Oh,
an
yeah.
unknown god.
It could be.
No one is able to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be no one knows how to do it.
That makes sense.
I think that's
Yeah,
what
the other gods don't know how.
So, so that's a negation of the verb to know, and then all the gods are the subject of that verb, and then to do it is the object of the verb to know. Is that how it's laid out there? Like Middle Egyptian verb, subject, object?
Yeah, that's the weird thing, right? Why does the rech come after nun directly?
Yeah.
Not.
I mean, I thought Aaron might be closer, that the rach is being negated, but it's governing somehow. Like Necher Neb is the subject of Eref.
Yeah, and there are no known gods. Yeah, it could be that way too. That also makes sense.
Why do I hear Donald Rumsfeld in the back? Known gods, unknown gods. Known, unknown.
Gods knowing, or no gods knowing, or no known gods are the two. Is the dichotomy that we're thinking of, right?
Weird way to negate in late Egyptian, isn't it?
I actually don't know. We only learned how to negate the relative, right? And this is a verbal negation.
Mm.
So we got to study more.
Or is it existence? I mean, if you want to say there is no God, it would have to be one. When you say there is a God, it would be one. And if there isn't, it should be none, right? Or how does that work in late Egyptian? What's the version of Imam, of to not have, to not be there? Just looking for Cherny Gwal.
To not be there.
To not exist. Finish no I.
Yeah.
Sin.
It doesn't take a ben.
Does that take a pen?
I don't know. I mean, that's just way over my head.
I mean, that's what all the other verbs do, but does that also work for, wait, so how do you do this? This is a really interesting topic that we haven't looked at yet. How do you do existence and non-existence or we could cheat.
Oh yeah, cheat. Do it. Ramses.
Forgot about that. No, here he's still laying on his back, being sulky. We're way beyond that.
I got the line here somewhere.
Something cheered him up. I forgot what. And I'm killing. I'm
So close, so close.
Yeah, it's quotidiennement. There we go.
There we go.
There it is.
SBJV. What's that? Subjunctive?
Where you at?
Can't be. So,
Under the rec.
check verb.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That should be subjunctive.
I don't know what they mean by subjunctive.
But how? Verb subjunctive. Verb subjunctive.
And they have ERF as an infinitive, which you would expect to complete the
Right.
What's that translation? What is it? How do they say that sentence? At asun DNA pute. Sorry.
And no God could do it. And
God could do it.
like none of the
no,
gods.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
no other god could do it,
Right.
Yeah.
is able to do it, which no other god is able to do, or something.
So maybe maybe a rec has to do with ability, which would make Netcher Neb.
It does later in Coptic. I mean, rech becomes sh. The only thing that's left over is a sh, and I think it means like the letter sh, and it means basically to be able to. That's somewhere in London. I think this is going to be a case for the post-game analysis. I have to head over
Yep.
to. See you all.
Can-
Yeah, we're out of time.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
Yep. Thanks, everyone. That was fun.
Fantastic. Thank you.
No, it doesn't want to let me. Ish.